Hi, this is Art Giser. I'm the developer of Energetic NLP, and I'm very happy that you've come to this webpage. I've been planning these series of health and vitality video workshops for about 18 months, so I'm really happy that they're about to start. Let me explain how this series will work. It's all about health and vitality, about enhancing your health and vitality. Each module will be 3 sessions. And you don't have to sign up for all the modules. You can just sign up for one, or I do recommend doing several of them, because each one will be a different part of the body's system, different part of our health and vitality. It's very important that you read the message at the bottom of this page, right before where you would register, that explains what energetic healing is and isn't, what kind of results you can expect. Can you expect any results? And it's very important to me to emphasize that I see all of this as complementary, not instead of standard medical or psychological treatment. A lot of you are familiar with my work and who I am and what I do. Some of you are familiar with energy work, but not energetic NLP. And some of you are completely new to the idea of energy work. So let me give just a little bit of background. I'm going to do this very quickly and very superficially. There's a lot more information about this on my website, which is www.energeticnlp.com. You can just put in ENLP, the number 7.com. And there's videos where we're going to much more explanation about this. So it's ancient wisdom. In fact, there's 92 different cultures that have words in their languages for the human energy system. Everything from Hebrew to Chinese to Japanese. I mean, all over the world, in Hawaii, everywhere people have known about the human energy system. This is ancient knowledge. It's the exciting thing to me, because I spent 11 years as a researcher at the University of California Medical School in San Francisco, is that science is beginning to be able to validate energy work. So in energy work, we say there's an energy field in and around your body. And there's nothing radical about that. Physics would say exactly the same thing. We also say that you're affected by invisible energies that are around you. And I'm always surprised how many people think that's an out there idea. And when they go, well, what makes you think there's invisible energies that affect us? I always go, well, what do you think gravity is? What do you think magnetism is? Have you ever had a sunburn? It isn't the visible light that burns us, it's the infrared light, which we can't see. We are constantly being affected by invisible energies. In the human energy field, we said there's a whole world of energies that science yet is only beginning to be able to measure. In everything from the martial arts to acupuncture to Tai Chi, all of these disciplines have talked about and used the body's energy system. One of my favorite pieces of research, and this research has been conducted many times in different universities across the planet. And there's something in science called a double-blind experiment. And in that, the person who's the subject of the experiment and the person who's actually there running the experiment with them don't really know what the experiment's about. So there can't be any placebo effect because they don't know what's happening. They don't have any expectations. And in these experiments, they'll connect people to medical instruments that measure things like stress and other physiological responses. And the exciting thing is, at a certain time, somebody that might be in the next room, that might be 100 miles away, that might be 1,000 miles away, starts sending healing energy to the person who's hooked up to the medical instruments. And the amazing thing is, when they start doing it, the instruments show, right when they start, that they start having physiological changes. Stress goes down. There's all kinds of body responses that improve. As I mentioned, since they don't know what's going on, and they don't know when it's happening, there's no way it can be a placebo effect. And this experiment has been reproduced many times, and it's just one of thousands of experiments that are done on the human energy system. And in fact, oddly enough to a lot of Westerners, in Russia, they've been, starting the Soviet Union and now in Russia, they've been studying the human energy system scientifically for years. And when I talk to people from Russia, look, all this research and books written in Russian, unfortunately they don't get translated into English. But I just, for your logical minds, want you to know this isn't woo-woo. This isn't some weird idea somebody has made up. It's very, very real, and someday science will be able to measure it. They're just not ready to do that yet. And just a little bit about me. I've been very intently working on studying energy since maybe 1984, since at least 1984. And I dabbled before that. And I've been blessed to study with a lot of very, very amazing intuitive psychics, healers, spiritual people. I've been blessed to have 2 empowerments from the Dalai Lama, one which is called the Blue Medicine Buddha, which is specifically on healing. Some of you have heard of the famous Brazilian healer, John of God. Well, he doesn't train people or teach students, but for about the last 12 years, he's been working with me to improve my healing. And every time I would go to see him, my healing would get better. And I've worked with very Western healers. I've studied with a Philippine psychic surgeon. I worked with a real interesting and somewhat colorful group of people, but all of them had in common that they were very spiritual and very amazing healers. I've also been blessed to be a trainer in NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming, which is a wonderful way for personal transformation and removing blocks and beliefs and adding in skills and abilities. And I've been a trainer in that field since 1985, and I was lucky enough to study with all the developers of the field. What I've done with energetic NLP is brought together NLP and energy work, and they each improve each other. Each one is missing something, and when you put them together, it's like 1 + 1 = 10. And it's gratifying to me. I started going to NLP conferences in the early 90s and teaching about energy work, and at first that was pretty far out there. And now when I go to an NLP conference, I'm not the only one teaching about energy, and lots of NLP trainers will talk about how they're incorporating energy principles into their work. So specifically, what does this have to do with health and vitality? Well, an incredible amount. There's several things about your energy field that are important. One is, it's like every other part of you, it gets dirty. What does that mean for your energy field to get dirty? It means you're absorbing energies from other people, which is normal and natural, and it's a huge problem. Just as your physical body getting dirty is normal and natural, but if you never clean it, there can be very, very serious problems that result from that lack of hygiene and sanitation. The same thing is going on energetically, only much more profoundly, much more pervasively affecting your life. You've been absorbing energy since you were in your mother's womb. Your parents didn't realize it, but energetically, they were programmed to program any children they had. And that's a good thing, because all children have to be programmed into whatever society they're in. Otherwise, they'll get in trouble, they'll get hurt, they'll break the rules, they'll be kicked out of the tribe, village, family, country. And so there's a reason we've evolved all this programming. Happily, this is the 21st century, and if you're listening to this video, you're the kind of person who wants to authentically express who you are, what you believe in your life, and not run like a robot based on programming and beliefs that were literally programmed into you, both psychologically and energetically. Now, again, there's nothing wrong about that. The opportunity is to change that. Now, again, how that specifically impacts your health is very important. So it impacts in several ways. One is, when your energy is flowing freely and naturally, you have more health and vitality. When your energy is blocked, you can get a lot of problems. So if any of you have had acupuncture, a lot of what acupuncture is about is finding energy blocks and releasing them so the energy can flow in your body. When you have other people's energy in your body, it can block that flow. And even worse, if it's in your body, some of what should be in your body, some of your authentic energy, is outside of your body rather than being in you. So other people's energy takes up space so that you have to put part of yourself outside. It blocks the free flow of your energy. The other thing it does, it's less intuitive to people, is that energy contains information. Energy contains information. If that seems odd to you, the only way human beings can communicate is through energy. So right now, energy is allowing you to watch this video. Energy allows you to use your phones, listen to a DVD, CD. Energy is what allows you to read a book. Photons of energy hitting the page, that energy goes back in your eye, the retina of your eye translates it into neurochemical and other kinds of energy that go into your brain, and all kinds of energetic things happen there, and then you go, I see something. All communication, all information transfer is done energetically. When you take on earth and universal energies, that's fine. That's kind of like food and oxygen. When you take on energies of other people, you get their beliefs, their programming, and their emotions. And what's insidious about that is you think it's you. We all wonder sometimes, why am I thinking the way I'm thinking? It doesn't feel right. Well, usually that's because it's not actually your thoughts. Any emotion that you have trouble with in your life that you've tried to heal and get better, either you have it way too much. Like there's some people, we're all supposed to be able to get anxious, but some people are anxious all the time, whether what's going on in the outside world warrants it or not. Some people are depressed. Some people, we could go on and on and on. Some people are ongoingly irritated or frustrated or disappointed. That happens because you've absorbed energies of other people that had those emotions in them, and we don't automatically release that energy. And what happens is we think, well, it must be me. It's my experience. And we try to work on it and fix it and change it. Well, we can't because it's not our energy. So the good news is you can clear and change that energy and run more earth and universal energy in your authentic energies. When you do that, you're able to increase your health and vitality. Some of this programming that you get and the beliefs you get, or actually a great deal of it, is around health and aging and vitality and what's supposed to happen at certain ages. People talk about, well, certain diseases run in a family. And I believe in genetics, and of course there's genetics reasons for that. And there's people who genetically should have certain diseases who don't. There's a whole field called epigenetics about what controls our genetics. It includes psychological factors, environmental factors, and many of us believe energetic factors. So you're not just a product of your genes. You're a product of these whole energy fields around you and the programming. When I was first learning healing back in the 80s, my mother had started developing arthritis in one of her fingers. And I went, well, do you mind if I try healing it? And she goes, no. She didn't have any experience with the beliefs about healing, but she thought, okay, fine, why not? And I started working on her finger, and she goes, my finger's getting hot. And then she goes, look at it. It's not red, it's not swollen, and it doesn't hurt. And it didn't hurt again for many years. At a certain point, her arthritis started coming back. And I would heal it, but I wouldn't have as dramatic of effects, and that puzzled me. And finally, one day I was talking to her, and she goes, well, I'm at that age where people in our family get arthritis, so that's just the way it is. And I realized that my healing wasn't being affected because I hadn't cleared the programming in her space that told her this is what's supposed to happen, this is natural and normal. We all get programming from our family and from society about health and healing. I certainly don't recommend smoking for a million different reasons, and we all know that there's people who smoke heavily their entire lives but don't suffer a lot of ill effects. They obviously are going to suffer some effects, but not the dramatic ones that other people get. And how much of that is about beliefs? I mean, who knows? It's a thing that's very difficult to study, but it does make you wonder, like, what is the difference? And is it all just genetics? All I can tell you is I've seen it from other healers, I've seen it in my clients. Sometimes amazing things happen when you clear energies, and more importantly, clear the programming and beliefs underneath them. Now, in these sessions, we will be using energetic techniques to clear these programming, beliefs, karma, what are called spiritual contracts, and a whole number of other energetic and spiritual factors that affect our health and vitality. It'll be very fun. It'll be a bit intense at times, but it'll be fun. We'll laugh. It'll be exciting. Each module will be a series of 3 of these sessions because it's much more than we can do in one session. And I'm not saying we're going to take care of everything about your health and vitality even in 3 sessions. And who is this for? Well, obviously it's for people that are having problems with their health or vitality. It's also, though, for people that are healthy and vital who want to keep it that way. They want to be one of those people as they get older and older. People go, gee, you look and act and your health seems to be like somebody 20 years younger than you. It's also for people that are just curious and want to develop spiritually and explore spiritual healing. Now, what benefits will you get? Well, frankly, I have no idea. Some of my students and clients get amazing, amazing effects. Some of them get wonderful spiritual and emotional healings and a little or maybe no physical change in their illnesses or problems. There's no guarantee in this work, and I want to be clear on that. I will say, though, I've been doing this for many, many years now, since 1984, and I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't think it helped a lot of people. And I think that the minimum you'll get out of it if you really apply yourself is you'll get a wonderful mental, emotional, and spiritual healing. And some people will get, I believe, again, this is my belief, I can't prove it, will get wonderful physical healings. The first modules, the first 3 sessions, are the brain and nervous system. And I'm starting with these because your brain and your nervous system affect every other part of you. Now, of course, the body is a holistic system and every part's affecting every other part. And yet we know that the brain and nervous system controlling our body is influencing our emotions. And everything about us is affected by our brain and nervous system. And also there's a lot of, as we get older, things that can happen. Dementia, Alzheimer's, different neurological conditions, Parkinson's, MS, all kinds of things can help it. And again, I'm not promising you'll get a cure. I'm not promising that you'll prevent these. I do believe, and again, it's just my belief, that it will help. So I'd love to have you join us. I think it's going to be an amazing time. I used to really hold back on talking about the work that I do because I was afraid of sounding like I was bragging or being arrogant. And people kept saying to me, Art, you need to be honest and say what you think. And people will make their own decisions. It'll either resonate with them deeply or it won't. And you do them a disservice by not saying what you think. So what I think is it'll be an amazing experience. And I have to say, in the tele-workshops, video workshops, and live workshops that I do, well over 98% of the people tell us that they've gotten amazing results from them. Again, that's what they report to us, and that's what other people observe about them. So if you're willing to go on this exploration with a wonderful group of people, because the people who join my workshops are always really interesting people, and they're all people who are very spiritually inclined, and we really create an amazing energy field together. If you're intrigued by this, I'd love to have you join us. If you're going, well, I'm just not sure, that's fine. If you participate in the first 3 sessions, and that'll begin with the 1 module, if you actually participate in all 3 of them, and at the end of the 3rd one you go, I didn't like it, not for me, I'll be happy to refund your money. If you don't participate, that's a different story. But if you participate and really see what happens, and if at the end of the 3rd session you go, I'm really disappointed with this, then I will cheerfully refund your money. So there's virtually no risk to you. The risk is, I believe, enhanced health and vitality, a fascinating experience, an opportunity to be in this community of people that's interested in promoting their own health and vitality and other people's health and vitality. So all the information is below on this page. At the very bottom of the page is where you register. So go ahead and look at what's on the page, read the important note, and again, if your heart tells you to do it, if it feels right to you, then I look forward to working with you soon. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to be speaking to you on one of the sessions. Thank you very much. Bye for now.